Oh, then you see with the ignorance, root of samsara, ignorance, holding the I real, truly existent, or the existing from its own side, existing by nature, or the ordinary language we use, real I. So, all the ignorance as I appeared to one's own hallucinate mind, see, then it believes, it entrust, entrust to that I, to that real I. Entrust. It's true, entrust. So, that time we were going more subtle, then it is labeled by mind, but it's not merely labeled by mind. There's something. There's something from its own side. Also, or they believe in that one, or they believe that the root of samsara. You are root of samsara. Ignorance. You are root of samsara. All that time you are creating the root of samsara. You are creating the root of samsara, then from that you are creating your own samsara. So like this. All the time. So Kazure, so even your practice, Dzogchen or Dzogchen or Dzogchen or completion state or Tantra, high Tantra completion state or completion Dzogchen or the, even your practice Tantra, the Gerim, the generation stage. However, but with this ignorance, but with this ignorance, ignorance, then holding on truly existence. Truly, thinking is truly existent. Interesting that. So the Kasure, so that doesn't become remedy to samsara. That doesn't become remedy to the root of samsara. The ignorance, that ignorance holding the I guess inherently existent, the real one. So interesting that. So it does not become this practices actually does not become a remedy to even to the root of samsara, ignorance. So whatever, even the highest tantra you practice, it becomes so it becomes it becomes a cause of samsara. Control that cannot eliminate the ignorance. So you see, what cuts the ignorance, the root of samsara, has exactly opposite of that ignorance. It's exactly opposite to that ignorance, the way of Kaswari, thinking, realizing. Kaswari. That the real I that there's no even atom of the real I existing from its own side. There is no such thing as a real I, even size of an atom, at all. And seeing, seeing because I say the I existing just in the mere name. In the mere name. So, because seeing that I do not exist from its own side at all. And because seeing that, then you see the that I exists in mere name, mere labeled by the valid mind. So unified, the emptiness and existing mere name unified each other. There's no way to exist. Emptiness of the I without the dependent arising, not Tibetan rise, the dependent arising. No way to exist that without unifying with the dependent arising, and the dependent arising is the existing mere name. No way to exist without unifying with the emptiness. So so therefore, it has to be emptiness. What you have to realize is the person gave you, not previous school. They helped. Their understanding, and they truth or they it helps to make more clear the personal view, to realize more clear, or it helps to realize the personal view more clear. But you see, it's only a personal view. You have to realize to eliminate the root of samsara. That was exactly opposite to the ignorance. That, yeah. Yeah. So, you see, then you'll, so when you see things existing, I, so forth, existing man name, merely labeled by mind, for that means, you see, it is empty of existing from its own side. So the Katsuri, so that helps. You see, no base. There is no base, you see, that the eye or objects of senses. You see something beautiful that you get attached. See, so there is no basis. You see, there is no basis, Kasure. Truly existent appearance. Truly existent appearance, which is the, as I mentioned last time, you see, right after the I is made imputed, with that awareness, first second, so with that awareness, with that continual awareness, dependent arising. So, you see, you see, it stops. The Kasure. If you can do that, it stops. It stops, you see, your ignorance, the negative imprint by ignorance, decorating or projecting the truly existent I or real I, a real one, on the male level I. You see? So that See, that helps to not happen that, so that what ignorance or the negative imprint decorate, project hallucination on the mere level eye, you see, is not there. So there's no basis for rise attachment. There's no basis to rise attachment. There's no basis to rise anger. There's no basis to rise ignorance. Ignorance, anger, attachment. There, see. Because what you see is what's mere level by mind. And it's totally empty of existing from its own side. So I just read here what Lama Tsongkhapa said. Let me stop here. I read the quotation, what Lama Tsongkhapa said in the Lamri Chenmo. So it might be good. This is very important. Tatimu di drota berangchin la du mindu la sawe cheba nam drota ne dochata shedan la sawa kewar jurwe dedaki zindang jang ribe sun yuan duwe ino. So in the nature of exaggerated by the ignorance, then exaggerated on that then exaggerated particular the differences, beautiful and ugly, so forth. So exaggerated the differences, the beautiful and ugly, so forth. So that's second. Then attachment and anger rises. Attachment, anger, so forth. Attachment and anger, so forth, rises. Gee, that's yeah. Should clear that. Didake zindang jang ribe sun yuan duwe ino. So even the attachment and anger, so they were of apprehending these objects, beautiful, ugly, so forth. You know, it's a beautiful, ugly, so forth, but it's you see, truly existed beautiful, truly existed ugly. They were not merely labeled beautiful, merely labeled ugly, not that. You see, real beautiful, real ugly. So, you see, so that's so this attachment, anger, they were apprehending. Then can be eliminated. They can be eliminated. The word, where apprehending real ugly. So these negative thoughts, anger, attachment, so these can be eliminated. by logic, because logic, yeah, will be by logical reasons. By logical reasons, it can be eliminated. By proving that this is wrong thoughts. Shijabi Javales, there's a more clarification. In the commentary of the 400 stanza, Dachala Sawa Tajang, Timuga Kundu Tabi, Muberang Shinkonala, Dugwata Mendubi, Dugwata Mendubala, Sobi Chabar, Dodobar, Jubuniji Chir, Timule Tame Tabar, Jubushin, Timula Tembaryang Jute, Timuzoni Chiros. So, according to the commentary of the 400 stanza composed by the Ayadeva and Narendra Pandit. Dachala Sawa Tajang. Even the attachment, so forth. There was also the anger to other, you see. In the nature, in all corners, all nature of phenomena, always exaggerated by the ignorance. Because exaggerated difference, beautiful and ugly, so forth. Timule Tame Tabar Dugo Jushin. No differences from the ignorance. It will depend on ignorance. The ignorance is the principle that's mentioned. So the anger attachment of the no separation from the ignorance. No different from the ignorance, and they depend on ignorance. Ignorance is the main one. It's a good quotation, yeah. Story, yeah.